Well, hello my friends, Time Architect here, and welcome to another episode from my Minecraft Survival Let's Play series. Let's zip on down here. I've been sniping squids. Let's see if I can get another one on camera, and I missed. Not a worry at all, because what we have planned for today's episode is going to be a nail right on the head. If you guys are excited for today's episode, do me a huge favor and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Let's jump over to our last project. Let's talk about it, and let's get things started. Alright, back over here at our new project, we can see the tower that we built in the last episode, which I think still looks absolutely amazing. I am so truly happy with how this thing turned out. Just kind of blowing my mind with kind of what I had envisioned and how it came out. Alright, so what are we doing in today's episode? Well, I did a little bit of playing around in my creative test world, and we can see by these smooth stone blocks here that I have changed the outline. Yeah, kind of what I was thinking with the scale here, we're way off. Considering this was supposed to be taller than that, and this thing is towering above, we're going to need to fix that. So I think right here, like I said, with these smooth stone blocks, we're going to pop in a very nice glass skyscraper, which we'll need to find creative ways of making look worn. And I have a couple little ideas in mind. Then we'll have to bump this little broken down building further out, which will actually make a lot of sense because where I placed it is still quite far back from this. So by moving it forward, 10, 15 blocks, whatever, then that would give more justifiable reasons for it to be all broken away. And then I was actually thinking, I got a sign here, so let me jump on back up here right quick. So right here, since we got the skyscraper there and the residential building there, I think this little corner area, so we don't block the view of this from the ocean, will be a perfect spot for a parking garage. I think that would look perfect there. We can make the entrance go down as well as give it like 2 stories, so that way we're only blocking a little bit of here. And I think that'll look really good there. So we'll have to remember to plop that in later. So with the building that I have planned in here, like I said, we see a lot of smooth stone. And then you saw me in the intro gathering up a whole bunch of ink sacks, because we're going to need a bunch of black stained glass. Like, we're talking so much. Going all the way around the outside. And this thing, I believe, is going to be like 15 stories tall. So massive. And yeah, so I grabbed a whole bunch of sand. And I'm going to go ahead and just fill out the floor right here. And then we're going to build a super simple super smelter. The old 4S. And then, yeah, we'll let that cook away while we start building this project. So, yeah, let me go ahead, guys, and put this floor in, torch it up down below, and then we'll be right back into this. All right, floor is in, and it is properly torched up underneath, so we won't get any visits from our creeper friends that we got to hang out with so much in the last episode. All right, so let's slap in a couple super smelters right quick. So we'll start off, we're going to build 2 of them, because we're going to have one for glass and then one to make smooth stone. So just plop in a couple hoppers like a Sioux, torch furnaces on top of it, blast furnace for this one, hopper, just like that. That's where your fuel input will be. And then right back here, this is where the chest for smelting items will go. So we'll do single chest, double, single. Just like this. Simplest super smelter you guys can ask for right there. So, in order to fuel said super smelters, we're going to need some coal. So, I decided to break into my coal ore pile. So, let's go ahead and zip that thing on down right quick. There we go. Nice quick little time lapse for you guys. I had been absolutely itching for an excuse to put that song in there. It was too short for any of my normal time lapses, so I figured that was absolutely perfect. So big old huge shout out to YouTube Audio Library and all of those content creators. I've been trying to give them a shout out in the description of my videos, but I just wanted to give a nice verbal shout out in my video to you guys. Thank you so much. All you creators are doing a fantastic job in making my boring videos a lot more interesting. All right, so we got 2 super smelters and a whole bunch of coal. So let's start off, I don't know, 4 in each. See how far that gets us. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Now I think our next stage will be to take out this wireframe since it is no longer relevant. I'll knock that out and then I'll bring you guys in and we'll build this first little bottom story / lobby together. Wireframe has been removed, and then I actually had to modify those super smelters because I guess apparently when you feed them in from the back it doesn't work even though it works from the side. You know what? I'm not even going to question it. As well as apparently blast furnaces don't smelt stone or sand. I don't remember that. That must have been changed. I felt like the blast furnace did stone of all types. So, a little odd for me, but we'll just go ahead and run with it. But moving right along, let's go ahead and get this little front facade built with you guys. So the cobblestone is going to represent the ground level. So that's why I put those in. So from here, we're going to go up 8. Just like that. And then we're going to swap out to polished andesite. And we're going to come out 4 from here. And look at that. We're lined up with that nice and conveniently. And then after that, going to the polished blackstone. And this is actually going to trim around this entire base level. But we're only overhanging it on the front. So this is basically going to cover the entire sidewalks, which is what I wanted. That's why I had to go back and modify it. And then right on back with this polished andesite. And then here we're doing pillars 3 wide apart. If I can count. And lastly. And then we'll just connect it across. And from here, we're going to slab it on up. Wait a minute. We need to put in a border first, of the polished andesite. Trying to follow my screenshots here. Once again, Lightmatica would be handy. I really need to go ahead and get myself that installed. Alright, and then super simple. Just going to throw these slabs in like so. And then a redstone lamp like so. And I got some pretty funny plans for these. So we'll just have to stay tuned on that, guys. Okay, so now that we have this first little story built, we can see that we have little low-hanging lights. I initially had planned on putting an iron trap door below it, but the little surprise that I had would not work with that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to outline this with glass panes. So we're just going to, this is the painful part. Going to go across just like that. But then the doors, we're going to have 2 sets of doors. And they're going to be 3 tall. I'm going to look just like this. Oh, I did it again. I'm going to take the iron bars, make our little handles. There's our doors. So now I'm just going to fill in the whole rest of this, and then we will take a look at it. Alright, so it doesn't really look like much right now, but you can kind of get the general idea of what I'm going for here. We have that nice big overhang that you'll actually see quite frequently on a lot of skyscrapers, at least from the research that I saw. Got double glass doors that are going to be pinned open, because kind of with the same theme right here, that when the city kind of fell to the tsunami wave, everybody evacuated and the doors ended up getting stuck like that. And that allowed people to go in and out. So, next thing, I think I will go ahead and just kind of finish up the rest of this bottom floor, and then we'll come in and we'll take a look at it. Well, I may have gotten a little carried away again, just like over here, and kind of going off the rail with the decoration on here. I did a little extra credit work. So as we can see, I have the bottom and a stone roof, and then if we were to go ahead and say fly up on top of this, oh, nope. Nope. We'll just go up here. Fly up on top of this building. We can see there is now a concrete maker in here. A TNT powered concrete blasting chamber. And this is a Mr. Buzuki design. Whew, that was a mouthful to say. We'll just go ahead and call him Mr. B. That's what he says in his video. As always, the link will be in the description, so you guys can put this in your own world. So let's go ahead and roll that music, speed things up into warp speed, and get you caught up on the build on this. Then we'll come in and talk about it. So huge thanks again to Mr. B for his absolutely amazing farm and even better tutorial. I have been very busy, my friends. That is over an entire shulker box worth of sand smelted up. I have even more smelting up because I forgot to keep that thing loaded, so it ran out. So we got the last little bit going on here, and we're doing pretty good on the smooth stone front. I don't quite remember how much I put in there, but it wasn't nearly as much as the glass. It was about, for every 3 rows high, it was an entire stack of glass. If for all the smart people out there, go ahead and do the math. I believe it is 21 by 19. And I did not bother to do the backside yet because we're going to have a structure back here. And last thing I want to do is have to remove all that glass. Hey Mo Yang, you need to make a tool that breaks glass faster. I'm tired of breaking it super slow with an efficiency 5 pick. So, flying up here, we got our roof, which is quite barren, but it's enough to where I could remove the blocks that were covering the water sources, because as you saw in the video, they were actually freezing because we are in a hills biome. So since we're above that certain Y level, I forget what it is off the top of my head, but water sources will freeze. So by covering up, that will mitigate that problem. Our next problem is, however, that really the only way into this farm right now is to just fall in. So I'm kind of thinking I'll put in like a nice water elevator and drop chute somewhere right around here from the ceiling. Put like a cool helipad or something on the top to just kind of go with the lore of it. And then also in his tutorial, he has a 3 chest catch system down here. And I wanted to go through and add in an impulse SV sorting system on like a giant water loop, so that way we can sort each and every type of concrete. That way I don't have to try to sort it out or any of that. And maybe we'll even add a shulker box loader in there sometime down the road. I'm not quite entirely sure. So let's go ahead and get started on this sorting system while this last little bit of glass smelts, guys. So I'm going to gather up some supplies and then we'll get started on that. Alright, my friends, resources have been gathered and we are in the second story of our skyscraper. Got our first little block here as a kind of space saver for where we're going to set this thing up, and I'm just going to lay out the 16 chests for each of the different colors of concrete, just like so. And it should be like that, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yes. Sorry about my phone, guys. Okay, so we got our 16 chests all laid out. We'll go through and then now add hoppers to the back of them. So that's our first row, and then we're going to go ahead and do this 3 more times. Adding in our last hopper, and then we're going to go ahead and go up 1 more. Give ourselves a little bit of space. And that'll do for that stack of hoppers. We want to add in a temporary block like so. Nice row of them, so that way we can point the hoppers inside of them. And this will be where the comparators go. So swapping back to hoppers, you're just going to aim them into the blocks just like so. And once those are in, we can go back and remove the blocks. Now we want to come back down 1, because this is where our comparator is going to go, and build a row for the comparators. And then we're going to come out another 2 for the redstone dust. Since we're up here, let's go ahead and toss in our comparators. And you want them to be facing away, just like this. And then add in your redstone dust. Okay, and that's it for the top level. What we're going to do now is we're going to drop down, and we'll just do this over here on the N1. You're going to want to place a block there, add 1 out, 1 there, 1 there, and then take out this middle one. So I would not recommend doing this entire row yet, because what you need to do is you need to add in repeaters right inside here, just like that. So I would recommend going through and building this bottom row first. That way you can place those repeaters before you can't access them. Now that our repeaters are in, go ahead and encapsulate that area with your stone bricks or whatever your block of choice is on both sides. just like so. And then come in on the inside and add in some redstone torches. And this will act as the block or the stop for the sorting system. That's what locks the hopper to keep the items from dropping through. And the last thing you're going to want to do is actually come back up on top of these blocks and fill out this last little bit with redstone dust. There we go. And that is the sorting system in a nutshell. So the next thing you can do is add in the filter blocks. So with this style system, it requires 41 blocks in order to allow the items to pass through. So you want to make sure you give yourself some filter items, and it can be set up with a singular block like I'm about to show you guys, but don't expect anything to come through until at least 41 items are in this initial hopper here. So you'll just add in 1 and then 4 blocks of filter blocks, just like so, and you'll do that for all of the hoppers. Now, if done correctly, you should see that all of your comparators are lit up and that the first little bit of redstone does have power, which should be, let's see on here, it has a power of 1, which you'll see right here if you looked on the right side of the screen, right about middle, you'll see target block, then what the block is, and you come down a little bit more, you'll see it says power 1. So the more blocks that get in there, the stronger the signal will be until eventually it unlocks the redstone torch down below. And that is the sorting system in a nutshell. The next thing we're going to be setting up is the water loop system, because with the TNT there's a large chance that we're going to have more items coming through than the hopper can handle, since we have a singular hopper per item color. So we'll go through, add a little loop in here to allow it to have a cooldown to pick up more items. So our water input source will be right above me like so. We're going to want to build a little tube for the items to come down. Then we want to go over again and get aligned on a chest and come across, and then we can start the loop process. So we want to build ourselves a little tube here. The water will come down right here. So I'll just build up a little tube right quick. With that tube in place, we're going to actually work backwards here to make it a little bit easier. So we'll put in our ice, even though items float, just personal preference here, I still like to add in a little bit of ice to make the items glide a little smoother. We'll come all the way over to there. And this will be what the actual items will come in and slide on. And then we will put one more on the outside, temporary block. And this will be our alignment chest. So the items will come down, hit that, get aligned with the hitbox on this, which as you can see is smaller than your full-size block. And then we'll add in these walls here, and that'll allow the items to not catch on anything. And then the hoppers can still pick them up. And we will continue this all the way on and one more past, so that way when the items go to turn, they won't get caught on the hitbox of the corner of the wall. So continuing on here, right this way, excuse me, we will start the loop. And we want it to go back and align with our drop tube, just like so. So there, now as you can see, we have a full skating ring of blue ice set up. And now we want to go through, and I'm just going to go ahead and outline it in glass. Just that's my own personal preference. It does not matter. So now we have our little loop. We need to make sure that we get our water sources in correctly, and we'll add in slabs so that way the doesn't create a full water source and make it flow both ways. So there's our little drop chute that our items come down. We want to have one back from here, and we will go back around and block it off from the other side, just like so. Items will come down, and we can actually complete that tube. So they should come down the tube from right in the center. They'll get washed around that way. Hit that wall, and we're going to put another slab there. Water source that. That'll be perfect. And then our next one can go right there. Continuing on until we get that loop. And this should be our last water source, just like that. And it shouldn't matter that that block's there or no water there, because the items have momentum since we're sliding on glass. Okay, so now since we have all of our item filters in, theoretically we should be able to test this thing out, and it will not pick up any of these items, provided we don't put through any concrete. So let's drop, I don't know, say some glass. And it should align, should get picked up. We should see it come back around. Okay, so it looks like our glass actually got stuck right here. Not quite sure why that is. Is it because there's no water source there? Interesting. I may have to do a little bit of research, guys. Give me one moment. Okay, so it wasn't that I did anything wrong. It's just I dropped it in right here, and it didn't have enough momentum. So now that I actually dropped it in where the items will be coming out, we can see that the item is now flowing. And it'll just keep on going around until it despawns, which we need this glass for the skyscraper, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Cool. So there we go. That is all set up. Last thing to do will be to take out all this, so that way the water drops straight down. And I should need to grab a sign to make sure that we don't create a water source up there. So let me do that right quick, and then we'll wrap things up, guys. Okay, collection system has been updated to just have the standard chute into our item sorting system, as well as I went and grabbed as many of the mini blocks as I could for each color, missing the red, orange, and blue. So I think we did enough building on camera for this episode, so I took some time and did a little bit of work off camera. So let's cruise up here and get a nice look at it. I got our landing pad, as well as, let me go ahead and touch down here like a pro. Boom. Had to light it up with torches for now until we can get better means to light it up. And I also put in the drop chute. So there we go. And there's a great spot for our ender chest. So as you can see, it'll take us both up and down. So that way all we gotta do is land up in here, and I might sneak a portal in here somewhere. I'm not quite sure where I want that to be. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and give this farm a try out here, and we're gonna go ahead and end off the episode. So you guys know what to do. If you enjoyed this episode, do me a huge favor and give it a like and subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one, everyone.